As you guys probably all know, I just put a Bill MT82 in Sally, which means that she's ready to run a 9-second pass with the new ESS supercharger, but we do need to get a new slick setup, quote-unquote slick, because I'm changing from a radial to a bias ply. So I guess I'm going to give you all a quick tutorial as to how you could mount a Beadlock. I picked up some Hoosier tires. I actually already went ahead and mounted this one right here. It's a QuickTime Pro in the 28 by 11.5 by 17 measurement. So let's go ahead and do it on this tire. Supplies you need for this job are pretty simple. You're gonna need a simple air compressor to set the bead. I'll explain that later on. You're gonna need a 10mm socket or whichever size your bolts are for your beadlock ring. Obviously, you're gonna need your wheel, and then you're gonna need a 5-gallon bucket. This is actually super important to have. The step that you want to go about mounting your beadlock wheels to your tires is actually taking out the outer ring, which I've done right here, and now we have a bare surface wheel. Tons of other lubricants out there that would probably work, but what I'm going to go ahead and do is lube up the tire next. Go ahead and go to the back side and lube up the inner bead, which is this right here. I'm using WD-40 because it is super greasy stuff, and we'll get the job done. So I'm just gonna go along the entire thing, and then I'm also gonna go on the inside of the other bead where basically the face of the wheel is gonna be sitting. Bear with me, this is difficult to film, but what I'm gonna do is now take the tire and we're gonna throw it on top of the wheel while the wheel is still on the ground. So the reason why we lubed it up is because there's gonna be some friction here. As you can tell, the tire bead needs to sit over the wheel, so we're gonna move it around and finesse it until we actually slide the entire thing over and the wheel sits in here. Just 2 hands for that, but with enough pressure you'll get it to seat down. So don't be worried if it's like half seated, just keep pushing down on it while it's on the floor and it will go. Exactly why I said a 5-gallon bucket is essential. So we're gonna take it and flip it upside down and place the wheel and the tire right on top of it. Ooh. To use gravity. Doing this for obvious reasons, because obviously gravity is bringing it down and bringing the bead closer to the actual wheel, so that when I put the wheel or the ring on the wheel, it'll bring it in nice and snug and uniform all around. Definitely hand tight all of the bolts first in a crisscross pattern before you go and use an impact or anything on it. I actually don't recommend using an impact on this at all. We're going to be using a torque wrench and a ratchet, but hand tight first. The thing about this impact is that it really isn't an impact. It's more of a ratcheting wrench, or it has a ratcheting wrench setting. So that's what I have it on right now, and that's why I'm using it. The reason why I'm going in a star pattern is to basically ensure that I'm applying force equally all over the entire ring. If we just did one side at a time, one side will pull up further than the other, and we want to make sure that this bead is set on the ring as equally as possible so that nothing leaks out of it. That's the main goal. Wondering, now after we get everything tightened down by hand, we're going to go ahead and use the torque wrench and do 2 passes on it, 15 foot-pound for the first one, 18 for the second, and then it'll be done. Again, doing the same star pattern. You'll actually see the bead move closer and closer to actually touching the wheel or the ring. So it'll close that gap and get super close. Look at the back side of the wheel and tire. You can tell that the wheel isn't flush with the tire. That's because we need to add some air and set the bead on the backhand side. So now that we torqued everything down with the bolts around the entire ring, I actually picked up this really cheap air compressor. It's a donut style. I think it was around 50 bucks, and then I bought a kit with it because it didn't come with any of this. So you need the air hose, the tire chuck, also came with this in the kit. So the kit's pretty neat. Anyways, 85 bucks total. And now we're gonna go ahead and put this on the valve stem and fill it up. Should fill it up. Then once it's done, it'll make a pop noise. Now they say not to go over 40 PSI of pressure, which we won't. I have a little tire gauge right here, which will tell me when I need to stop. I'll check. At about, I think it was 12.5 PSI, I heard a thunk, which means that the tire now expanded and it's seated on the rear bead. One little test to ensure that we don't have any leaks here with some soapy water. So if it bubbles around the bead, you have an air leak, but I don't also hear any hissing noises, so I think we might be good. Well, both of them are done now. You all know what that means. Let's go ahead and slap them on Sally. Let's move the cars out of the way and get Sally in here. Lord, you gotta tell me if it's quieter now, because I just added in those resonators. It is though, right? It is quieter, yeah. Just comparing those Hoosiers to my regular street tires, that's a 35 aspect ratio. That's bigger than a 45. You can see how much taller it is. And we're going to the dyno on Tuesday, so I definitely won't be dynoing on those. The car will make a lower number if I have a taller tire. We're gonna be going with this small one. Man. My back is not the best from the gym right now. Oh! And my finger's now not the best.
Putting the OG Beadlocks back on the Mustang.
I've had these for like 4 years now.
Yeah. These are the same ones we struggled on and for like a week trying to figure it out, and Toby did it.
In 45 minutes? No?
Yeah, about 45 minutes.
You see the improvement, it's real.
Yep. So haters can hate all they want. But Toby actually kind of knows what he's doing now.
Only took 4 years.
Yeah, 4 years of improvement. And here we are. Doing it in his garage.
We're about to drop this thing so we can take it to the gas station and show you all the final results. This is going to be sick. How's it look, Devin?
I think it looks phenomenal. Oh my goodness. Oh,
yeah,
what?
We need the far take.
What the?
Yeah, it looks pretty mean.
Hold on, we'll back it up. We'll back it up. Yeah. Wow, it's like you lowered it.
Yeah, because it's filling it.
Yeah.
It's taller.
Yeah, look at that fitment now.
Can finally see the final result, and if I had to guess, it raised the rear up by good, I don't know, 4 or 5 inches, because the side exit is usually super close to the ground, but now I don't have a clearance issue. And yeah, these Beadlocks look crazy with the Hoosier tires. So that was a successful mounting session, didn't even take me long at all, and overall it looks crazy. I do have a set of front runners. I do also have the tires on the way, so I'll have to get those mounted because I can't do those at home. You need a tire machine for that, but you can see how tucked that is now. It's almost actually rubbing the fender, and I think that's like the biggest size you can go. So 28 by 11.5, where you'll start rubbing the fender and have to get that Stita spacer that goes on the rear spring. So that's going to do it for this video. If you guys enjoyed it, please remember to comment, like, and subscribe, and stay tuned for the launches with the track prep. The guy that basically gave us prep at the track, I'm going to use it to practice launches in this thing after the dyno day.